And we're back. We're live. We're here live in the orchard. And if you've been watching some of my earlier videos, this is kind of a part two. I'm Justin here with Fast Entrepreneur. Today we're talking crypto. And specifically, what I wanted to follow up on is let's talk about gains. This is what everybody wants to know. They want to understand. And you really want to understand this. You want to internalize what this means so that you can maximize your gains and minimize your risk. So by any means, this is not financial advice, but these are just my thoughts. But here we go. So folks, a little bit of background if you're new to this. Listen, you can put your money anywhere. Stock markets, a lot of people, know of. You can throw your money in a bank, maybe you earn, 1 or 2% from the bank. But there's also other places you can put your money. And cryptocurrency, some people feel it's the future. And if they're right, the gains could be big. But it's also very speculative, which means it's young and the price is very volatile, goes up and down very, very quickly. So here we go. We got a little farm over there. So what I want to talk about is gains, and specifically potential gains and how to understand them. And so here's what we're looking at, right? There's risk and reward, okay? And I want to talk to you about some key things that we really need to understand. This might be, simple to some, but some this might be a good refresher, and for some this might be, eye-opening and how to think about, gains in marketplaces. You got to think about percentages, right? Because that's how you can compare apples to oranges. So what do I mean by this, right? If you want to double your money, then we're looking at, you're getting a 2x, okay? What does that mean? Double your money. So how does that compare to, say, what a lot of people think about the stock market? Well, the stock market on average for like over 100 years, on average, let's say it's about a 10% return each year. 10%, right? Which means, based on the rule of 72, if you're not familiar with that, it says, take take the number 72, divide it. You've got, say, 10 years in this case. So in this case, it'll take you about every 7 years, you'll double your money. All right. And some people, hey, that's great. But along the way, you're going to have your ups and downs, right? It's not going to be all smooth sailing. You're going to have some losses, and you're going to have, some gains and some bull runs. But the volatility may not be quite as large as some of these speculative markets like crypto. But in a market like crypto, you could see double your money. Literally, if not in hours, days, weeks, or months. It can happen very quickly. And that's what I want to talk to you about. So what actually is possible? So in the last run, let's just start with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is probably the best well-known from its previous all-time high, right? Bitcoin had gains. If you had, and again, this is timing, right? And that's what I want to talk about. So let's just give an example, right? And I'm just going to use easy numbers because it's kind of, it's going to be easier for us to, manipulate and kind of understand. But let's say Bitcoin's all-time high previously was around $1,000. Okay, now I think it was a little bit higher, maybe 1,300. But regardless, gives us a basis. And let's say that during the last bull run cycle, it went up to $20,000. Okay, that would be a 20x. Okay, and this happened probably within the span of just about a year. Now that means timing. You would have had to gotten it at 1,000, and you would have had to sell it at 20,000. And again, nobody can really know, the bottoms and the tops of markets. But this just gives you an idea of what's possible. Now, let's say if you didn't understand the cycles, let's say you did get it at 1,000, you rode it up to 20,000, and you rode it all the way back down, and you hodled it. Maybe you were at, you're down to 5,000. So you still got a 5x, okay, which is great. A 5. That's tremendous, right? 500% return on your money, even after it basically crashed all the way down. Now, what I want to talk to you about, though, so that's how explosive these bull run markets can be in just a short period of time. Now, timing is important, and what people don't understand is the earlier the better. And we all know this, right? Buy low, get in early. But here's the deal, right? What happens if, you're early, but instead of buying at 1,000, let's say, you kind of either you didn't get in, or you didn't have the time, or you didn't know what you're doing, or you wanted to wait, or wanted to research. Let's say you wait and you buy in at, 2,500, 2,500, right? It's not that much more than 1,000, right? But look at your upside potential. Instead of a 20x, well, 2,500, right? And then it goes to 20,000. Well, what is that? You do the math, that's an 8x. So you went from a 20x potential gain to an 8x potential gain, just because, and that could have been in the matter of, a few weeks at the beginning, which is still, hey, listen, it's still a great return. But the later you enter a market, the more your potential gains are going to continue to possibly drop, and you're taking on more risk and exposure to the overall market. So let's say another example. Let's say you just waited until it was 5,000, right? When that market started getting going. It's still relatively cheap, right? Goes from 5,000 to 6 to 7, 8, goes up to 20,000. But even if you got in at 5,000 and you managed to time the top at 20,000, that's now only a 4x. So your gains go from a potential 20x to a 4x just because you didn't buy at 1,000, you bought at 5,000. Now, and you know what? And there's more risk to the market, right? Because as the price, let's say if you get in at 5,000, the price goes up to 10,000. You've doubled your money. What if that's the end of the run? Whereas if you got in at 1,000, instead of being up double your money, you're already up 10x. You're already up 10x. You could pull out your initial investment and still ride it. Anyways, so when you see, when you're looking at price projections, and that's just what they are, or you're looking at, potentials on coins, sometimes you're seeing, potential 10x, 5x, 50x, the next 1,000x gem. You really got to understand what that means. I'm not saying it can't happen, and it probably will happen for some folks. But most of the time, it depends on your entry. So let me just give you an example. If you really truly believe that a coin might have 1,000x potential, right? And however you do your research, maybe you're looking at, market cap or tokenomics, you're looking at competitors that are out there, you're looking at potential, you're looking at the past bull run, and you're saying, okay, if all goes well, this is where I think this coin might be. It could go 1,000x when you're looking at, and it doesn't matter about price. Forget about price of coins, because every coin's got different supply. Market cap, that's how you can compare, different coins, apples to apples, right? Market capitalization. But what I want to say is, if you're looking at it, you think it's a potential 1,000x, right? But then you sleep on it. What you may not realize is it might be 1,000x for the early investors. But maybe it's already pumped 2x. Well, now your potential at entry may only be a 500x. Or what if it's pumped a 10x? Maybe there was a pre-sale. Maybe there was, whatever. So by the time it actually gets to exchanges, or a time that you can buy it, if it's already up 10 times, maybe the potential from there isn't 1,000x anymore. Maybe now it's divided by 10. Maybe it's only 100x. And listen, I know this isn't going to happen, all of the time, but it can happen in markets like this. So, hey, I'm out for a walk. I hope this helps. And I'm getting close to 10 minutes, so I know, with YouTube. So let me end this video. And if I got a little bit more to add, I'll do a little bit more here on my walk. But cheers to everybody. Hope this helps. Please like, subscribe. And if you got questions, you want more clarification, definitely let me know. Write it in the comments. All right, guys. Peace. Cheers.